to my tech talk that we host on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm Tony Pellegrino, and I've got some special guests in the studio with me today, Mark and Paula, and we're going to learn more about them as the show goes on. But we're going to give everybody a chance to get on here and get caught up with us. We've got a great show for you today. We are going to talk to them about their journey. They're living full-time on the road, and they're going to tell you all about it. It's very interesting. We're going to talk about the Great American Crawl that we were just on out in Moab like a week ago. I think it was a week ago. Time flies, yeah. So we've got some videos to show you. As always, we welcome your questions and comments during the broadcast. Please, if it's vehicle specific, make sure you tell us what year and model you have so we can better answer the questions.
I'm hearing it fine.
Are we doing okay on sound?
I can hear it fine.
Sam says he can't having a mic problem.
Sam, come on. How are we looking out there in Facebook land?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Got John Miller on, Kelly Sims, Bill Witten,
John, Kelly,
Sam Walker,
everybody,
Terry
can you hear
Moe,
us? Can you hear us
John
okay?
Beard, Casey Burkett, Marie Weber,
Hey, Mom.
and Mike Sullivan.
Can you hear okay, Jim? Yeah?
Yeah,
We've got a question.
I
It
need
says
to
Tony's
start.
audio's low.
it sounds like it's just through the phone though.
Start.
Tony's mic's not.
We're a little slow today, yeah.
Do you want to swap mics?
No, we're on the shotgun.
Oh, on that.
Yeah.
Can we try the little guy simultaneously,
Just
or will
move
that
closer.
not
Can we
work?
just move closer?
Yeah, try closer.
How are we looking, Jane? Can you see me actually?
Phone's on A, right?
Roger said he can hear you fine.
Okay.
Well, that sounds better.
All right. Well, we're gonna go with it. All right. Today I've got Jamie, Alex, Debbie here in the studio to help us with the broadcast, and as always, we're fighting microphone issues. Welcome to high tech, right? This is always the challenge. That's what we get for trying to do this.
Better with a wrench here. And a microphone.
What do you think, Jamie? Look like we got it?
I can hear you.
Okay. You guys might just have to turn up the microphone or the speakers on your phone.
We got a couple questions, honey.
All right.
Questions already?
That didn't take long.
Mark Ondrasek, Tony's thoughts on the 2021 JLU 392.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts about that.
I like that was the first question.
I like it. In fact, I just got a call from one of my friends over at Jeep yesterday, and they want me to test drive one for them. I'm like, yeah, sure, twist my arm. So, I think that's going to be a hot package. You know, basically what Jeep did on this is, a lot of people are grabbing one and taking it to go get a conversion. They finally said, you know what? Let's take that $30,000, $40,000 extra dollars that people were spending, go charge it at the factory, and you can get it. But now it's under factory warranty and factory everything. So, to be able to get that from the factory is going to be awesome. It's been a giant hurdle because of the old days, back when the CJs had V8s and they had so many rollovers. There was kind of a policy at Jeep Chrysler that was like, no way are we ever putting a V8 in. They got their blood suit off. So happens here. So, but yes, I think it's a great idea. What else you got?
Let's see. Steve Waterman, hey Tony, I bent the heck out of my right rubber. May need boat. You said no cutting. Will they bolt right up?
Oh, he wants to switch from the regular rockers to mini boat sides. Yes,
Yep.
The bolt pattern is the same. The mini boat sides come longer, so you can cut a little bit off the front, a little bit off the back, and then make it fit exactly what you have, but that way you're assured that the bolt pattern would line right up with what you already have. So they're the same height, everything. We try and make it, we know people go through this, just like we talked about at lunch today, how, you get into one thing and you step through it and you just go, man, I should have gone and gotten the right thing in the first place. So there we go. But yes, it'll go up. There will be a little bit of work for you to do, so just be prepared, but it will match. You won't have to drill any new holes. So
Sam Walker, are the new MT42s going to be 17 rim or 20 inch?
So the question was, will the new Baja Boss MT the 42, come in a 17 or a 20? The 17s will be first, followed by the 20s at some point after that. So 17s are first because I have 17s.
Most of us have
Makes
17.
sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, I happen to like the proportion of the 17-inch wheel with the 42. I think you get the right amount of sidewall. That everybody loves that look like on the Silver Surfer. It just got that like beef
Absolutely.
look. Yeah. So.
Devin Merriam again, will you have an elite suspension for the 392 Rubicon?
Well, that's a good question.
Today, and you're being asked already.
By the way, that was what prompted the call from the Jeep guy. Was he said, "Hey, will your new Elite suspension fit that Hemi?" And I said, "Well, we're going to need one to check it out."
Good answer.
Bring it
answer.
on.
Yeah.
Totally.
So right now it's designed for the 3.6, but I don't think it'll take too much for us to make it fit with that Hemi. So I think we'll be in good shape, folks. So,
Awesome.
yeah, awesome.
I want one.
Me too. that sounds awesome. I had already vowed that if I put a V8 in my JL, I was going to do the Hemi versus
Okay.
the LS. It's super seamless with the new JL. Like it just
Just
looks
marries well?
factory. Yeah.
Okay.
Slick.
And so that's why you would go with the Hemi though.
On the JL.
On the JL specifically.
Yeah.
That was
All
good
right.
to know.
More questions?
Bill Whitten, thoughts on 44 axles with the 392?
That's what I was thinking.
Not enough.
Do you know if they are beefing up the axles?
Nah, I was pretty sure through the dealer you could get those crate axles that that would install that are like
Right.
60s.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be, and guys, you know how this works, right? Jeep comes out with something one year, then by next year they'd have a 60 option or something.
Right.
I know they've got a great relationship with Jim over at Dynatrack, so it wouldn't surprise me at all that in short order 60s will be
Something gets
available.
bolted on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with that much horsepower.
Should be mandatory.
Yeah. So this last summer when I went to Sturgis, I stopped by Dakota Customs and got a ride in one of their Hemi built Jeeps, and I noticed that through first, second, and third, it shifted really quick so that the motor didn't build too much RPM and torque to like snap everything off in that while it's getting going. So
Programmed it to.
I'm sure that the factory one's gonna be real similar to that. It's just a way to keep everything alive. So, yep.
Sounds like Sam's got some rim changes in the future. What are your thoughts on 20-inch rims on the JKU with 40-inch tires?
No.
Not
No,
enough
no,
sidewall.
no. I don't think you have enough sidewall. That's a real debate. I know that a lot of the buggies that are running 42s have switched to a 20-inch wheel. They're trying to get bigger brakes in there. There's a few things that they're trying to do. But by the way, reducing the amount of rubber, which is where a lot of weight is, and replacing it with an aluminum wheel is a better, lighter way to go. But guys, that sidewall for what we do is your friend. So if you're rock crawling, doing a lot of that kind of stuff,
They're down to like 6, 7
yeah,
PSI.
you can, like a rock this size, the whole sidewall will just envelop it and roll over that. You won't even
A
see
larger
the
footprint.
suspension move.
All the way,
Yeah,
all the way around.
But I appreciate the questions. Those are great questions. Yep. And since I've run 42s before on my Growler YJ, I love them. Can't wait to get them back on. So, yep. All right.
A lot of questions right out of the gate. What is the ETA? What is the ETA for the public to get the 42-inch 17s?
That's a good question too.
I'm gonna say April.
Just throwing it out there.
Just but based on the timeline I heard,
Yeah.
because I think I'll get some maybe by the end of the year. I don't know, maybe. So we'll see. But yeah,
Santa's going to bring some.
Yeah,
But April's probably good.
probably.
Safe.
Yeah.
Tammy Fisher, my 4-door came with an 8-pound worn winch. Is that adequate?
That would be 8,000
8,000,
pound.
yeah.
That is adequate. For many years, I wheeled with an 8,000 pound winch. Here's the deal. If you're on the trail Most of the time when you get stuck, it's because your diff is just hanging a little, or you got the rear bumper stuck on something, and all it takes is a little tug along with some power and you'll go. Where an 8,000 is not enough is when you're trying to drag your friend's dead vehicle up the side of a hill, or you need to drag your dead vehicle. And what I mean by that is when you have no engine power to assist the recovery. That's where the winch really gets to work out. Yep. You're probably going to need a snatch block, and if you don't know what one of those is, we can show that in a later. I know I have one of my Jeep sitting right there.
Good recovery gear is so important.
It is.
Absolutely.
Always.
Yeah. It's like anything. When you need it, it's priceless.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a great question. But for the most part, it will be just fine on there. And I only run a 9.5, so that's where we're at. Yep.
Devin said he loves all the red, white, and blue T-shirts.
Nice.
John Miller, did the half doors announcement shock you a wee bit?
The half doors announcement. Our half doors? Or no, I guess maybe I missed it. We came in with half doors.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Ryan Boudreau wants to know, Paula, did you pick up Artemis yet? And what motor did you put in it this time?
That's a nice one, Ryan.
She is actually getting picked up for a whole hour tomorrow morning and dropped back off and being re-picked up on Thursday or Friday. So stay tuned to Thursday or Friday to see why we're juggling her around this week. She did get a temporary heart replacement of another 4.0. It's my third one in the last 6-7 months.
6. Yep.
So, so temporary heart replacement right now just to get back out on trail because I cannot stay off the trail. And
She's honestly a great passenger, though, I swear.
yeah. I said some sarcasm
So
there.
it turns out I'm not a very good passenger.
When she was in Moab, I heard this. I was like, oh.
Totally.
So it turns out I'm not a really good passenger.
She's an
I'm a better
excellent
driver.
spotter, though. I'll give her that. An excellent spotter.
Yeah.
So I'm better in the driver's seat. So
Better spotting is something like, don't hit that. Watch out for that. What about that guy?
I'm like, I
This
got
line, not
eyes. I got eyes.
Yeah.
I got this. We're good.
So yeah, it appears that I'm better in the driver's seat than I am in the passenger seat. So
Fact.
yeah, so I can't stay out of it
I'll
very
be the
long.
judge of
So
that.
another temporary heart replacement. We got a wheel soon, Parker.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we talking about that or not yet? Well, hey, we're like we've completely like shortcutted the whole thing. So,
Okay,
I'll
so-
finish answering Ryan's.
So, long story short, stay tuned for the first quarter of the year as things are moving forward, and we'll see where her engine goes from there. So,
Okay. So let's see what our next slide was. We already talked about
Got
this.
that.
If you have questions and comments, please include as much information as possible. Let's talk about the Great American Crawl.
There we go. Now we're back on
A week
track.
and a half ago, I was out with these guys in Moab at the Great American Crawl.
which is
James,
It
can
was
you be
incredible.
the controller over here? And Alex is going to swing the camera around, and we're going to watch a couple videos from there.
Sweet.
And
That was good times.
is this me driving, or was this Val? I can't even
This
tell who's mine. That
is
doesn't-
like day.
looks like yellow
one.
hats in the passenger
Yeah,
seat.
it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a passenger there.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to show you guys some videos. This is just great footage we got from out there. There's nothing fancy here. This is just some raw footage. And part of what I want to show you guys is how well the dampening control works, how flat the body stays. This is all, part of what we do with our suspensions and just really make everything work. So I don't even know. Do you recognize where this is on the trail?
What, it's by Mesa?
Oh, that's
what
where
I was
it is.
thinking. Yeah.
So that might even be Jordan driving. It
Right.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that first day you went from Poison Spider. Did you just do Poison Spider Mesa?
yeah, we didn't get any more done. Everything was running long and late. We were supposed to do Golden Spike and something else. and
Gold Bar Room.
we didn't get to any of that. So, all right, that's the same video again. So let's move on. Oh, this is that sharp, like 120 turn. Okay, here's Jordan's driving skill in the side-by-side. So he was specifically told not to drive the side-by-side.
Verbatim.
And the side-by-side was in mint condition when he started.
This is like 5 minutes after you got in.
Do we have any volume on this? Is there?
Yeah.
Because this is pretty hilarious. Jordan, he rolls up on this thing to try and kind of get a feel for it, right?
Mickey's hot tub on Hell's Revenge.
It's so short.
So if you didn't hear that, he goes, that feels really sketchy because it's so short. You know, Jordan drives something that's twice as long. No, and you're not going to crawl it, dude. You got to get it. Uh-oh.
Reverse, reverse, reverse!
Like a stink bug upside down with his
In
legs
slow
in the air.
motion.
He was grinning pretty much the
Yeah.
whole way through.
So, by the way, I've been to this particular obstacle many, many times, every year that I go, and I always see somebody upside down like this in the
Always.
hot tub.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, the water wasn't very deep at the bottom, so Jordan didn't get a bath. But we're going to watch this again just because it's funny.
At Jordan's expense.
It was like it was in slow motion
Yeah.
the entire time.
I expected him to, from there, I expected him to get a little momentum, but then he gooses it like halfway up. No, and you're not going to crawl it, dude. You got to get it. Yeah.
And he
See?
gets it. Oh, and the rear tire right there caught that little lip.
Huh. Okay.
Fortunately,
next
there
video.
was barely any
Yeah,
damage.
I know,
though.
yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
bent
like
the roof
that
rack
little
like
rack.
a little
I
bit.
know. It was pretty much unscathed.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
what is this? This is escalator?
Yep.
Oh, this is, I haven't even seen this footage. This is cool. I think this is me driving it here. If you've never been, this is escalator on Hell's Revenge. This is a really cool obstacle. This is also one of those ones you see people get in terrible trouble, loop it, roll to the bottom, like all kinds of stuff.
Sit there
This is
for an
very
hour.
important that you get super high on the passenger side. Like your vehicle needs to feel like it's just about ready to roll over.
Yep.
See that? See where I'm right at the tipping point? And then you keep moving. You do not stop. Okay? If you don't listen to my words carefully and you do anything else other than what I just did, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're going over.
Yeah.
For
High
sure.
passenger side, level it out and just keep going.
Keep going.
Do not
Seen
stop.
lots of body damage
Yeah,
on that spot.
that was textbook right there. So, fun stuff. Like I say, I haven't even seen this footage, so that was kind of cool. All right, Jane, what else we got? We're just going to kind of blip through these because we got a lot more stuff to cover. Oh, here's Shane.
He
coming
walked
up.
it too.
He did too.
No, he
So
used a
this
slightly
is
different line.
This is pretty much like Terremoto, but with no fancy engine. He's got the stock drivetrain, but everything else, elite suspension, whole deal. And he's on the MTZ tires, the Mickey Thompson MTZs.
I know he was as high as you.
And I gave him the same advice that I just gave everybody watching: do not stop.
He
I said,
listened,
get right
too.
there where it feels like you're going to roll.
You start to lift that back tire just a little bit.
And bam, front hits.
And
Up.
then I said 2 times walking speed. Go, go, go. There it is. Perfect.
Textbook.
Perfect.
And that angle makes it look level.
I know.
Yeah, it's deceiving, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is an extreme
You can't even
vertical.
walk up
Yeah.
that.
Very good. Again, I hadn't seen that except for from the bottom, so that was cool. All right, next one. We're going to post all these on our Facebook, so you'll get to check it out. All right, this is me driving Shane's Jeep on Pritchett the next day.
Nice.
So he flew home, and I took his Jeep out and wheeled the hardest trail.
Makes sense.
So this requires the Moab bump. There you go. Perfect. A lot of people always ask me, does the stock drivetrain have enough oomph when you're off-roading? Absolutely. When you go to low range, it's plenty of power.
As long as you're geared right.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
For
all
sure,
it
for
is.
sure.
All right, next video.
Joni, can you answer a question while
Sure,
we're watching movies? Roger Rowe, what is a good gear size for the JLU automatic with 37 tires?
That's a great question. 37-inch tires require, I would say, a 488 or a 513 would be your best choice.
Agreed.
So 513 would get you a little higher up. It'll keep you from bobbing out of overdrive all the time on the highway, and it'd be fun. Like make the vehicle a little more perky. So, all right.
Absolutely.
This is Chewy, and this requires a couple of good bumps to get up, and
a sidewall
there
all the
you
way
go.
across.
Yeah.
Jeff Perkins wanted to know, is this where Gridlock tossed it?
No, it was in the previous area. Yes. All right. James,
Of
go to the
course,
next
Jeff
one.
wants to know that.
Devin would like to know if Shane's running 5.38 gears on the 3.6 liter.
Yes. Always running 538. As soon as you go to a 40, you got to be all the way.
That's what I'm running also.
So this is Scott Durkin. Trail Reaper is what he calls that vehicle, and that was a heroic climb. I got to tell you, the penalty would be high for that if you didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally optional.
last
Yeah,
year.
this is optional.
Yeah. Very optional.
All right. What else we got?
That's commitment.
I could just
That's
keep
a
watching that for a while.
supercharged
though.
6-cylinder, by the way. Okay, here is Rocker Knocker. This is the one
Oh, and you're
where
taking
you
it
gotta
the
walk
opposite way.
Walk it across.
You have to just slowly walk
Slowly walk it.
I've
This
only
is-
taken it the other way, left to right, not right to left.
This is textbook right here. It feels terrible. You feel like you could reach out and touch the ground, but you got to just keep going. Look at what a beautiful day it is out there.
It looks just as bad as it feels.
And if you do this wrong, it's not pretty.
No.
Now, the longer wheelbase has more stability compared to a shorter wheelbase,
Yes.
an obstacle like that.
Yes.
But that is so off camber.
Yeah.
Hence, the longer gives you just that little bit of extra comfort.
And
This is
when
why
you
you
get to
took
the
Shane's
end,
Jeep.
when you get to the end, it's like a paved highway.
Yeah.
Piece cake.
Yeah, you
right?
turn and out.
So that was my sample of driving for the rest of the group that was with us. All right, next up, let's go to the next one.
Hey, Mark, Arizona West Side Wheelers asked if you've let Paula drive your Jeep yet.
I have on the street. On the
This
street.
is,
Great
Good
question.
one. I like it.
Hey, Joe and Erica.
so this video, if you'll notice, I'm the one spotting, so I'm not driving my own vehicle. That's Val. So she's looking at me like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Come on," and then pops right up like a paved highway. There you go. Perfect. All right, next video.
Tony, Devin Merriman asked if the Turkey Day off-road run is canceled or if it's the entire GenRight Thanksgiving event at KOH.
The entire GenRight Thanksgiving, turkey run. Yeah, not just the meal, but everything, yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll try again next year. There's the straight up line. That's
aggressive.
the real bounce, yeah.
Aggressive.
So that takes some commitment, because if you bounce the wrong way, then it's several tumbles down to the bottom. We'll watch it one more time. Scott does a great job here. Not too much wheel speed, just the right amount. So you want to carry a little momentum. Your tires are giant flywheels.
He's backing up to different race
There you go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And another example of why it's so important, though, to have a good cage.
Yeah.
So,
if it
you're gonna,
goes
if you're going
sideways.
to try obstacles like this, you need to make sure that you're safe.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. All right. So, this is a pretty good one. I don't even remember the name of this. This is on Pritchett, but it takes some commitment to get up this.
That is not optional.
No, that is
part
not
of the trail.
optional.
No.
That is that's a nail biter. That one. This is like 3/4 the way up or something. You know.
Yeah, I think the
It's
second
good.
last obstacle, I believe.
And you do not want to get spinning tires and all out of control, or you will end up on the lid. So, I think I was also the first one up on this to kind of show everybody, like, this is what you got to do. Because I didn't want them getting too aggro and, like, launching it on this thing.
Because it was colder when we were down there, too, there was nowhere near the normal Moab traction.
I
It was
know.
not the same.
No,
And
and
it
all of this
snowed a
stuff
couple of
seems
days before.
slippery.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's right.
So what's important to note here is that you heard, I don't know if they can hear or not very well, but I'm on the gas before I hit the obstacle. All of the acceleration is done, and then it's consistent throttle up the obstacle. That's a super important aspect. All right, next one.
John Miller asked what the rating is of that trail.
That's a 9 on the way up, a 10 on the way down.
I didn't even realize that. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
I haven't done it
any
in
one of
reverse.
these obstacles, if you don't get it right, you're gonna thrash something. I call them make, break, or crash. So she's running the stickies and just kept the right tire speed until it grabbed and got right up. That was a great demonstration of throttle control there. Here's Tommy. He did a great job too on this one. So again, keeping the tires just to the point where they're gripping and walks right up. Those are the Baja bosses. So yeah, again, that vehicle's a little lighter. This is Nick trying rock pile. This is super steep, and the rocks down at the bottom keep trying to kick the front end over. So I think he's 140-inch wheelbase. It's pretty long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He's super wide though. He's like 100 wide,
Yeah.
and I'm wide.
That's a tough one. And that is a make, break, or crash. Yeah. So.
Hey, Tone,
So this is Son of Rockpile. Yeah. More questions?
go ahead and finish what you were going to say.
Yeah.
Bill Witten, 93YJ 6.0, 4L 65, junkyard, 1-ton axles, 103 wheelbase, 14 king coilovers. Recommendations on spring rates.
I don't know. The spring rate also depends a lot on what's up top. How heavy is it? Does it carry a lot of extra parts, hard doors, hard top, spare tire? I would need to know all that to answer that question. So see if he can reply on that while we're watching the video.
Okay.
So this is Son of Rockpile. This is deceiving. You need to point up toward that rock where the guy and his kid are standing, and kind of stay that way until the rear tires get up there. And what I'm trying to do is I don't want that front tire to slip past the rock. If it slips past the rock, you're just going to hit the diff and you're not going anywhere. So, I think this is the one where I get a different angle at it. So is it all one video?
I think so. This is the one I do with Terremoto up there.
Yes.
You literally have to like drive
Toward that rock.
giant rock.
That's right.
Like,
That's exactly right. You remember well.
yeah.
And I think I had you come in at this angle too.
I've never made it up this obstacle.
It's
I've winched it every single time.
you got to get it. Yeah.
There's an alternative line now.
Now there is
Where
over where
Casey's
Casey
standing
is.
on the
Yeah.
left. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's where everybody else had to go. So obviously this is. So I'm trying to be gentle on it. I didn't want to add any scratches. See how that front tire tries to walk over?
Yep.
So now before those rear tires hit the wall, you got to go. And so I'm getting the right amount of spacing. I'm going to turn toward that rock and hit it. There you go. Just takes
All
that
right.
bounce.
I tried to go left of that where you were. That's why
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
make
bad
it.
over there. Okay, next video.
Alex, Fred, any difference in gear strength from 4.88 and 5.13? JKU Rubicon.
Yes. In fact, going just from a 456 to a 488 is an 11% strength drop. And it's really important to watch how small that pinion gear gets when you're getting. That's why once you start getting into if you're really a serious wheeler on 37s or you're going to 40s, you got to move up to 60s because the pinion size is what it's all about. When you get to those gear ratios on a 44, you've got one tooth in contact. Whereas you go to a 60, you got 3 teeth in contact.
Massive
So
difference.
big difference. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that
Good
dramatic.
question. Yeah, it is.
Tom Gutman, JKU Dana 60 ball joints versus ball joint delete? Question mark.
So this has been a popular question, the ball joint delete. I have not run those myself, and honestly, I don't even know anybody that is running them. I've run the ball joints. I've run them in the Terremoto. I've run them in the race car. The race car has a heavier duty version, but what the Terremoto has is right off the shelf, and I only run the Dana Spicers. That obviously I've run those for years, and it finished King of the Hammers this year. So I would say if I can do all that, it's probably going to hold up for you. So, all right, Jen. So this is now turned around, coming back out, right? This is Yellow Hill. And I think Nick has taken the optional line here. He was doing
As
this
per
a lot.
usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are what, 46s or 7s? These are big tires. Yeah, this is a big vehicle.
And it's got so much flex. Insane amount of flex.
I think we're about to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, not bad. So he put a Cadillac supercharged engine in there. So,
Beautiful rig.
yeah, very nice. Lots of GenRight on there.
Tony TJ Fulton asked, would you recommend supercharging an inline 6 4.0 or an XJ or just LS swap it?
That's a great question. So if you didn't hear, the question was, do I recommend supercharging the stock 6-cylinder? Absolutely not.
So this is a situation I'm in right now.
Again.
Again.
Why don't you speak to it?
I'm not supercharged,
No.
but I was super chipped.
Yeah.
And it did not aid in I had to swap out engines, and swapping into the new engine, the communication between the new engine and the super chip just wasn't there. Now I'm looking at my third engine and I'm going to be going into a fourth soon, and I have the 4.0. And so
You did look at the supercharge though.
I did. And overall, for me, I think it has to be an individual pros, cons, everything else. For me, it's going to probably be eventual LS3 swap, because one, I think it marries. You could correct me. Marries very well with an LJ.
Especially if you have a tracer suspension. Then it marries really well.
But yeah, it's just I think that it's just pros and cons, and it's how you're going to want to use it.
Yeah. So let me tell you this: if you only drive on the street, you can put one of those on. You're going to be impressed with the horsepower gain. But if you go off-road, what happens is the way that they spool up, if you go to crawl something, it comes on and you just like launch over stuff. The other thing I've seen more often than not is people pulling them off because it either blew up their motor or it can't run right, it doesn't pass smog, blah, 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 1,000 excuses. My advice is you're going to spend $8,000 to put one of those on, save the money, and put it toward a V8.
If you're already thinking about an LS versus a supercharger, you're probably going to end up with an LS someday eventually.
Yeah.
So like we talked about at lunch, save a few
money to do
paychecks
it
and
right
go
the first
do it
time.
right
build
the
what
first
you
time.
really want
Don't
right
go
out of the
through
gate.
3-4 engines in the process. And
From
that's
personal-
all money
not
that
from
I could have
personal
by
experience.
now purchased an LS. So yeah, just if you can, save your money and do it right the first time.
Yeah.
You can buy a crate LS3 for $7,400.
$7,400. It's the Crate LS3 from Summit, right? Or
Or
Summit
Chevy,
Racing.
or GM or
Yeah.
whatever.
So
Or you can buy 3 4.0s for the same money.
for the same amount of money, right? See? There you go. Do we have a bunch more? Oh, this is going down. All right, swing back around, Alex. So I can tell you that this is pretty
That's
good
chewy.
coming down.
That's chewy, right?
Yeah, chewy.
Yeah.
And
No, thank you.
if this doesn't make you nervous, then you should be.
So I have a question. What is your approach angle versus going down versus going up?
So
do you
I'm
adjust
gonna
your line
follow the same path that I took.
He's mimicking it.
And I'm also in front wheel only
Okay.
So this is very important. You do not want the rear wheels pushing you around here, because what happens is I got to make this turn now, and that hole at the bottom is a 40+ inch hole.
It's ginormous.
So when you get down there, you have to get on the gas. Everything's telling you to stand on the brake, but what happens is the vehicle takes off, and if you're on the brake, when it hits the very bottom, you just thrash everything in your driveline.
Yeah.
So you want to be on the gas. And I don't know how far this goes. I haven't seen this footage, so this will be. So what I'm doing right now is a front burn. So I'm moving the front over, making the turn.
That's great idea.
Yeah.
Tony, Arizona West Side Wheelers asked if the corner guards that are on the yellow Jeep are on the GenRight site.
Yes, they are. So, yeah, you hear me gas it right there at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm down. So, yeah.
Now,
That's
now
how big
you're
Now
down.
you're
that's
down.
how big it is.
Hopefully Shane's not watching.
Unfortunately, that's the toe point in the back, which is
Yep,
tough. So
totally.
that's good.
Yeah, no
All
way
right, what
around
else we
that.
got, James? Oh, here's Holly coming down. So from this angle, you'll really get to see how hard that hit is at the bottom. It's really tough. So I'm guiding everybody, trying to have them understand, because from that angle, if she starts to go down and that rear end starts to pass up the front end, you have to stand on the gas, because you're gonna roll all.
you have
That's a
to
3 or
throttle out
4
of it.
roll to the bottom. So.
So
And
she's
this
going
is-
to dig too?
I think she tries, yeah, and I might have her back up again. I was just trying to get her as straight as possible. And I know from here this doesn't look like much. I'm telling you, that is some
Nasty.
spooky stuff. Yeah. All of this is like driving down back door.
Mischief Maker is a big Jeep. And so to just look at the size difference, to put it in perspective, of the ledges versus the height of the Jeep.
Yeah.
She's on 43
So what you can't
stickies too.
see is this is a big hole right here, like the rock chipped off, and it's like if you fall in that, it's just gonna start the weight transfer, and you're gonna end up on a lid. And this is also not part of the reason she's going slow, is if you get a little too much speed and go to stop again, it won't stop. It'll just slide and take off. You can see, she was just standing on it. It was just sliding off that. So she's trying to stay out of that hole.
Here it goes.
Yeah. Bam.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's brutal.
That's impact, yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to stay in it.
That's the kind of thing that really messes stuff up in your front end. All right, next video. Oh, here's Tommy coming down. So you can see Tommy got turned a little more, which is good. I don't remember what he does on this because I turned around and walked back up.
Let him have it, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's built,
Yeah.
He's got 3.0s, things like good for KOH,
Which he qualified for,
which
correct?
he qualified for, yeah.
Awesome.
So
Can't wait.
I'm just explaining to him, like, here's all the things that could possibly happen. Be ready.
It looks really moist. Was it did it rain?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
moist. There was no dust
It,
for a
it
change.
it snowed like 2 days before.
Three or four.
Yeah.
It was right before we got there, and it's
So that was a bit more controlled coming down.
Yep.
So much better. Oh, this is high dive.
Yes, it is.
So this is the next day. Did you guys join us on this?
Yeah, this is the one that we ran with you guys.
Yeah.
So this was Great American Crawl Day.
Oh, this
1.
was day one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is behind the rocks.
Yep.
Which is just south of town on
And
the
this
right.
this is the Tony line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this obstacle is the high dive.
Yeah.
And then upchuck is on the other side.
Of the valley. That's right.
And this is nasty and off camber and
Steep.
yeah, like
Steeper
everything.
than steep.
Didn't look like much. That
No.
makes it look like
2 doors down that line. Trouble.
No, it doesn't
Yeah.
do it justice. What else we got?
Oh yeah, GenRight.
Oh, the dunes.
And that is just pure fun.
Unless you're behind
There's
Tony,
nothing
then
right.
it's not fun at all. Like, his roost was like 50 feet long, and Scott is eating every piece of dust.
He had sand fall out of his Jeep for like a week.
Yeah.
That was great. All right, what else we got? That was riding with me, and she was having so much fun. Oh, this is Steel Bender.
So this is day 2.
Yep, coming
Crawl.
down that.
See how cold everybody is there?
Yeah.
We were in Havasu, that's
The
why.
wind was blowing. It was bad.
Yeah.
Time to move on.
We watched it. We were
Warm
like,
up a
"Let's
little
go
bit."
South
It
right
wasn't
now.
long after this that it started raining and the sun went down.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, no, that's sketch.
Maybe move a little bit forward.
Yeah.
There we go.
Don't stop. Remember, that's my
Don't try
one rule.
to back
Don't
out.
stop. Yeah. So, is that the last of our videos,
I
Alex?
think it might be the last one.
Since Jamie walked away.
Devin said,
Okay.
great video clips, whoever took them.
All right. Yeah, it's a combination. Or is that all you, Alex? All right. Good job. Okay, so we have 20 minutes left, and we are going to get to. Whoops, wait, man, we've already like flipped way through this.
Maybe
to
you were leaning
our
on the
special
remote.
Guests, Jeep and Gypsy and Jeep Daddy, right?
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
thank
course.
you.
What I want to do is have them describe to you guys their journey, what they're doing, the whole thing. Whoever wants to can start.
You fire away.
And
All right,
I
for it.
want you to also cover your incident in Uray, your
the
Jeep build.
short version. We're on 20 minutes here.
Yeah, considering you got a lot of stuff to talk about.
She could take an hour to tell that story. I'm not telling you. I'm not joking.
So, and what else?
And let's see how you maintain it, what you do or don't do based on how many motors you've been through, and how COVID this year has offset your whole schedule,
Okay.
and then future plans for.
Awesome. You might need to
2021.
remind me.
I will.
All right. So the first one being just a quick update. For those of you who already know our journey and what we do, I am just reached 4 years of living out of my Jeep full time, wheeling the country 365 days a year. So yes, I actually live out of my Jeep.
No
Just to
trailer,
clarify.
no tent.
Yeah, it's not like I have a home base and I go out. I physically live out of my Jeep. And literally just events. COVID's changed that, to get to that in a few minutes. But usually it would be attend Jeep events, meet up with off-road shops, Jeep clubs, which we still do.
Yep.
And hit as many trails as we can and have all of you show us your most crazy, awesome trails. So we want to discover your trails. We want to wheel your trails. We want to get to know all of you. So reach out to us for sure and let us know what trails you have in your area. And we just literally are discovering the next trail nonstop.
So what got you started on this? Like, what made you decide to just like a homeless person live out of your Jeep?
All right, so I used to run 2 successful businesses, and one day I was working 7 days a week. One day I looked at my Jeep and decided life's too short, and so hit the road full time and closed everything down, put what I could in storage, and decided that no matter if you're 8 or you're 80 years old, none of us are promised a tomorrow, and we have today. And so to chase today, chase your dreams, live it to the fullest with everything you have, and embrace it, live it. And I decided to put everything I have into my dream and what I love, and I have never backed down a day since. So who knows where it'll take me or where I'll end up, but it's wherever I'm meant to be.
And your Jeep started like pretty stock, right?
Yeah, so 4 years ago I had no idea I'd fall in love with the more extreme as we go. And I have completely, every day I fall more and more in love with the challenge and pushing myself. And so,
And you do push yourself.
yeah, and my Jeep to breaking limits
So
constantly.
for those that don't know you, what do you drive? What
I have a 2006 LJ Rubicon. And I've gone through Oh my goodness, it's been an evolution. She grows as I grow in my wheeling, and then I kind of surpass her build a little bit and start breaking stuff, and so she has to evolve to keep up, and we just kind of play hopscotch back and forth like that as we're going, and we're evolving together. So I start with 35-inch tires, and she was completely stock except for 35-inch tires and a little short arm lift, 4-inch short arm lift, and that was it. Ended up breaking my stock 44 axles in 3 locations, front and rear. She was just one thing after another as always, but it's 7 days a week of use. And so now I have 60s, and she's geared at 538. I have the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss, the 40 inches, which I absolutely love.
Me
I've
too.
been running them for the past year solid, and Mark just got his first set. And
Because I've been watching her do stuff I couldn't do for the last year, so now I got them too. Now I have no excuse though.
Did you have them on at Moab?
I did.
You did.
Yes.
that was his
Yeah,
first
that-
trails.
Yeah, I put them on about 2 weeks ago, and we figure we've already ran 25 trails in 2 weeks.
That's great.
So they're getting be pushed. They're already broke in, that's for sure.
That's good.
And so Mark here, it has Jeep Daddy
Yep.
Inc.
Yeah.
Maybe it got left on.
That's when you're.
Is that a fresh bat?
Something's not right.
Okay. Testing, testing. 1, 2,
we
3,
back?
testing. Are we back?
All right.
Beautiful.
Okay, so
right.
start with your story
The
again.
bear.
Bear
So
girl.
they want to know about the bear. So a bear ate my Jeep.
That's a really short version. Yeah. Yes.
So I came off the Unlimited LJ Adventure, which was awesome. And I decided to stay in Ouray, Telluride, Silverton not this past summer, but the year before, and hit more trails. And so I came down out of the mountains and was out of gear, food, supplies, so decided to restock and go into a KOA on Labor Day weekend.
Safe campground.
Yeah, it was
A
packed.
state, It was cram-packed with people. I came down out of remote mountains with, like wild bears. You have to
Wildlife.
be
Yeah.
scared of, right? Into a designated campground. Let my guard down, and I knew better, but I let my guard down. And I surrounded by people, pitched my tent, grabbed my sleeping bag, left everything in my doorless Jeep, and just crashed out for the night. I had minivans like 20 feet away from me in all directions, so I wasn't thinking it was a big deal. Next thing I know, I wake up at 2:45 in the morning with growling 4 inches from my head, and it went away. So I was wondering if I was dreaming, and I heard rustling, so sat up to look out of my Jeep tent, a tiny little backpack tent, and
Can you
I
imagine?
saw a bear jump in
Like,
6
no
feet away
thanks.
from me into the driver's seat of my Jeep, and and then something pressed on the back of my tent, and I laid back down. It was a mom and an adolescent. The adolescent posted up on my tent while Mama Jeep bear decided for 30 minutes to completely destroy and eat my Jeep. She couldn't get into, coolers, everything she threw out of the Jeep.
Yeah, she bent
So
the seat, right?
Yeah,
In
the
like
whole
in
metal
half.
frame of the passenger seat bent in half.
It's
Driver's
still sitting at Moab
seat was
Motorsports, isn't
shredded,
it?
yeah.
Rory just keeps everything. He's got
Don't
it on
let this
display.
be you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So wildlife awareness. So yeah.
And you didn't even have anything in the Jeep, right?
No, I was out of food and everything else, and I was down in town to restock. So I think I had one mandarin orange on the floor in the front that she didn't even touch. So she was just rummaging.
Why would you go for fruit when you could find McDonald's or something there?
Right.
I'm sure she probably had it had to be a big red dumpster, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so Bear ate my Jeep, and it's every day is an adventure. Every single day there's something crazy.
Fortunately, not like that. every day.
No, they'll look at each other and like, did that just really happen?
Yeah.
Are we really here right now? You know, so it's awesome. You never know from day to
Okay,
day.
so mention some of the companies of products that you're using right now that you have found have held up for you since you're
Oh my
off-roading
goodness,
all
and that
the
is
time.
so huge. I can't stress that enough. We're not just wheeling on weekends or here and there. We are pushing these products 7 days a week, 365 days a year, off road and on road, back and forth, and they are being pushed to their limits. And Torco, I could not live without Torco. It has saved me more times than I can't count, and not just us, but people we come across.
Because we
You
always
know.
carry extra, and
Yeah,
we've
it's-
helped save boats before on Lake Powell.
that were literally stranded for 2 days.
Paddled over.
I
a
mean, like in the
rowboat.
middle.
We gave them
completely
oil.
Stranded, no food, no
Yeah.
water, fresh water, and it was just they were stranded, and they blew an oil pump, and all they needed was 2 quarts of oil, and
I think it was 6, but anyway, whatever. We helped them out.
yeah. So yeah, my tires, our
Ricky
tires, yeah,
Thompson's,
it's those are
Game
huge.
changer.
So
I literally have watched her drive over stuff, and I've had to winch for the last year, almost a year. And
Which we won't elaborate.
now, I no longer have to winch anymore.
And you ran
on.
several
So happy,
others,
but,
Yeah, we'll see.
right? You ran several other brands
I
in the
did.
past,
I
right?
did. And I've tried several things. The Mickeys have shown that no matter which terrain, I mean, literally, one day we could be rallying 200-foot sand dunes in Glamis. A few days later, we can be rock crawling in Parker. A few days after that, we could be up, snow wheeling in Moab. And then heading out to Colorado
Which
mountains.
sounds weird,
And,
but we
you know,
actually did snow wheel in Moab. like
yeah,
snow.
with snow wheeled metal masher. So it's hitting extreme terrain in all different ways, and then hitting the highway in between. And it has handled
hours at a
everything.
time.
Everything we put up against, never faltered once. It's the first mud terrain I've actually had really perform on ice. So even packed ice. Every tire I've ever had, is like an ice ring when you get the big tires out there on the ice, and they've never faltered for me, not once.
Cool.
So
All right, any other products you want to mention?
besides all my GenRight, so we are running on time.
He wasn't fishing there.
Totally.
Well, I'm saving the biggest for last. So I am actually completely wrapped in GenRight, and nothing makes me feel safer. So, and not just on performance level, like my Highlines, my bumpers, the designed for the perfect, departure and approach angles. The tire carrier that is massively lightweight. I've shown you, I did a video of being literally able to pick it up, toss it in the air, and catch it. It is so lightweight, except it has taken a pounding several times. And then, there's everything. It's the rock sliders. I use them as a pivot point. My body armor, I lay her deliberately on her side against the body armor on a boulder or a cliff, and I'll use it as a pivot point to pivot around. And it takes the impact of the entire weight of my Jeep with gear.
Which is why I need
without
more
falter.
GenRight stuff.
Now, you're
So
putting
I'm
a lot
starting.
of aluminum stuff, right?
Yeah.
Except for the rockers.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
so, and my bumpers also, and my roll cage.
Steel
So,
rear bumper.
yeah, and my roll cage is by far, out of all of my modifications, my favorite. So
That's my next
it's a work
step,
of
I
art.
think.
Not only is it a work of art,
Roll cage is a good
it
idea.
it has the best design, and the welds on it literally are immaculate. It's
art.
it's definitely the best craftsmanship, and it keeps you safe. And like I said earlier, you can't risk that. So safety number one, always cage up.
And what are your next GenRight upgrades?
Well, there is going to be that little one that I'm going to be revealing in the next few days.
Nice try.
But you had told me about another one that you wanted for the back.
Yes. So I am really interested in getting the basket. So as you guys know, I've asked tons of times about all my gear, how to organize it, how to keep it, because my whole life is in the back of the Jeep. It comes out of the Jeep every day. It goes back into the Jeep every day because I need to take it out for extreme wheeling.
Or the back of mine.
Or the back of his.
I carry half of your stuff.
So,
have one in here.
and when I'm on verticals and I'm crawling, I have gear back there, I need a place that I can secure it. And I can stack it, I can organize it.
So in the past, she used like a spider net, if you will.
Yeah.
One of those
I've
bungee
tried
nets.
all sorts of different
And
things.
you know, it just didn't take the abuse of being unhooked and hooked every day. So to have
And
something
all that weight being thrown around
like
in
a
it.
GenRight basket to sort
Yeah.
and create two levels.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Separate
you
the
can
levels.
divide it out and conquer.
Yeah, and to actually have an organizational system back there while you're wheeling that's secure is huge.
I may or may not bug her about on occasion.
So that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. How did COVID change what you guys did for this year?
Went from 26 events scheduled this year to going remote.
Well, yeah, we made it to 6 events at the start of the year before it hit, and then everything kind of got canceled. So we ended up going super remote because towns were shutting down, and you know, if you don't have a home, where do you go? And there's a
And-
stay-at-home order, so
So we went super remote for
Did
that time frame.
a lot of Utah around Lake Powell area. We spent a lot of time around there near Hanksville.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for us was trying to find water.
Yeah.
Because if the
Campgrounds
gas
are
station
shut
didn't
down.
have a spigot,
gas stations or pay a pump only,
that was
they're
a
shut down.
real-
Their waters are shut down. I mean, just to find water was huge.
so when we
almost
found a
impossible.
gas station that was like really friendly and didn't care that we were kind of
We'd
not
stock
too
up
far.
with
I mean,
as
we
much
were
as
like 40
we
miles
can.
away in the desert, but like we'd come back and kind of stock up there, and they were cool. So we see them every few days.
Since
And
then, we traded events for meeting up with off-road clubs and shops and having them
Running
show us their
trails.
trails.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
because you can still social distance. You can get out there and you can wheel and still keep that social distance aspect.
and we can still explore. I
And
mean,
we can
why
still
not?
do what we love every day and live our adventures. So our adventures have gone from like scheduled events to wheeling nonstop.
So
it's
that
awesome.
said, this year you did something a little different coming into Trail Hero, right?
Yes.
Tell everybody about that.
We had our
Sure.
JeepnGypsies Adventure to Trail Hero, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We did 4 nights, 3 days.
3 nights, 4 days.
Sorry, 3 nights, 4 days. That makes way more sense. Tomato, Come on. So yeah, 3 nights, 4 days, all backcountry throughout Utah.
And this was fans joining you guys,
Yeah.
right? Followers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we catered meals for them every night, as well as one of the breakfasts. We had a bunch of great companies like GenRight, Revolution Gear and Axle, Torco, Adams Drive
just a whole
Shaft,
bunch
a
of them
whole
who
bunch of companies
Jumped
that
in to help
stepped
make
up.
it possible. And GenRight had the best Welcome Trail Hero bonfire dinner,
Yeah.
which was completely awesome.
Thanks to Val and Mike for cooking,
Yes.
and Maddie.
Yes.
So yeah, everything was all set up for us on the beach. But we went to a few of our favorite places that we found earlier in the year when we were out, quarantining, if you will. So we went to some really, really remote spots that have incredible views, and it was mostly fairly easy trail riding,
It was
except for a
few
couple
rock crawl
obstacles.
trails, but yeah, nothing crazy.
But we're going to change it up, and in January we're going to do a hardcore, well, not super crazy, but
But
definitely a much more
A
rock
rock
crawl
crawl
adventure
type of run.
as well.
Adventure,
So stay
yeah.
tuned for
So-
that. We'll be launching
Yeah.
details.
Yeah. And
Can you say where it's at?
Yeah.
is this the best place to follow you guys on Instagram?
Absolutely.
Or yeah.
Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube. If you do, we'd love to have more subscribers. We're putting up videos up there as often as we can.
Deb, do we have any other questions for them?
Looks like that's about it.
Yeah, they got them out of the way early.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
And stay
bombarded.
tuned for 2021 because there is some things in the works for our adventures go bigger and even more crazy awesome. So
It's gonna be cool.
Can't wait.
Gonna be cool.
Excited.
All right. Well, if we don't have any final questions, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We've burned up our hour already. I know it goes quick.
That flew.
So thank you, everybody. We will see you on Thursday for our special edition of 35-inch tires and down. So
And
tune
have a
in.
safe weekend,
And have a
a
everybody.
safe
lot
weekend.
with 35s.
Yep.
All right.